Greetings everyone and welcome back to City Skylines and of course to the Green Cities DLC. Now we're just going to pause the game here for a moment because there's a lot of things that we need to check out. Just after I finished wrapping up the recording in the last episode, we crested a milestone and we became a worthy village, which means we can now buy more land. We've also unlocked districts policies, second loan, district specializations, and service policies. Now, unfortunately, that's going to keep popping up until I have a look at those buildings, but we'll get there in a moment. The main thing to note here is we now have emergency services and police departments. So we're going to need to take care of those because the citizens will now care about it. We'll start seeing criminals. We'll start seeing fires. We've also unlocked industry specializations for the forestry and agricultural industries, which is pretty cool. We've also got the self-sufficient buildings and organic and local produce for residential and commercial specializations, respectively. Now, these have been added by Green City, so let's check them out, shall we? The self-sufficient residential building recycle their waste and produce energy with solar panels and by other means. They consume 30% less electricity, produce 30% less garbage, and generate 30% less tax. Now, that is potentially a bad thing, because if we have a look at our budget, we will see, where is my budget? If we have a look at residential, they're actually producing 53.25% of all of our taxes. So, you know, losing that tax income would be a bit of a blow, but even if they were producing 100% and we turned all of our buildings onto that in some way, you know, if we just ignore that we have commercial, we have industry, we still would be in a net positive, which, you know, is something to bear in mind. Now, the other things that we've got organic and local produce. Changes commercial area to consist of buildings like organic produce shops, electric car charging stations and such. They produce 50% of their sold goods locally, and as a result, truck traffic in the area is reduced by 50%. So by that, I can only assume that it's not just that they're getting local produce for local shops, and so you're not getting trucks coming in off the main highway connection, but they're not buying it from your industry buildings. So, for example, any goods produced over in the industrial area aren't being shipped to the stores in your city. They're just finding it from smaller places. Like, they're not buying, you know, large scale agricultural bee farmed honey. They're getting it from local sources. Maybe someone has an apiary in their backyard and they're selling it, that kind of thing. So it would actually have an impact on a very densely packed commercial district. It would have quite a big impact on that. It will increase their electricity consumption though by 20%, and it will also reduce garbage production by 20%. But so between these two, you could really get rid of a lot of the garbage in your city. Now, we've also got some other policies such as power usage, water usage. These generally reduce the cost, the consumption of that resource, but increase the cost of the buildings that are doing it. And smoke detectors just to reduce fire risk, which is always a good thing. We've got police stations, 2 different types, and firehouses, 2 different types. It's purely aesthetic from what I understand. Now, with that in mind, let's have a look at our situation. Ooh, we have actually got natural resources. Let's check. Yes, this is ore. I thought it was because of the dark coloration there. This is farmland, and where there are trees, it is forest. But don't worry too much about that one, because your forestry industry is actually fairly good at being self-sustaining. They'll plant their own trees for the most part. If you put it in a place that's already forested, you're going to have a boost to it. But it's not going to be incapable of producing anything if you put it somewhere like over here where there's very few trees at all. Additionally, let's have a quick look. Noise pollution. Yeah, they're very close to this horrible noise pollution. Now, noise pollution specifically is actually worth talking about a little bit here. Previously in City Skylines, you would generally get any kind of road you built would generate a little bit of noise pollution, depending on how heavily the road was used. Well, that was quite an abstract way of simulating the noise pollution. Now, the noise pollution is generated by the cars and trucks themselves for the most part. So you'll still find that a heavily used road will generate more noise pollution than a very lightly used road, but the types of vehicles on it will matter. So if you've got electric cars, they're going to produce a lot less noise pollution than regular combustion engines, and that's something to keep in mind. But what I'm really interested in is how we're doing for water. We're doing fine, actually. Okay, how we're doing for garbage? Could be a little bit better, but we're actually massively reducing the budget on garbage and on water, in fact. And how are we doing on that? Ooh. That's a little bit worrisome. That's a little bit too close for comfort for me to be able to rely on using a district to fix it in the short term before we run out of power. So I'm going to preempt that problem right now by dropping in a new wind turbine. We'll pop one right there. There we go. That one will just help out with our power problem before it becomes a power crisis. But we are going to make a district. And generally speaking, my recommendation with districts is avoid making an entire area into a district, especially if you're going to do something drastic in that district. If you're just going to add a policy like free smoke detectors, sure, go for it. But if you're going to do anything that might result in new buildings being built, avoid doing it too quickly. Otherwise, you may see your entire population move out of the city to be replaced fairly slowly by a new population in new houses, and that would be bad. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with a modest district over here. Let's actually just bring this down. Now, you can follow the roads if you want to, but in this particular instance, I think it makes a little bit more sense for us to, as you can see there, it's snapped there, just to paint this in. We've got Cypress Heights. What a lovely district name that is. And actually, on the topic of district names, as everyone will remember from who watched the first series I did on City Skylines, I like to name the districts based on comments. So by all means, I will post a comment into this video and I'll pin it so it's at the top so you can easily find it, and you are more than welcome to just throw in name suggestions into a hat and I'll pick one at random and then we'll rename this district. And on that note, any particularly important roads, I'm not going to name every road because frankly we'd never do anything else in this series but rename things, but for example, this road is extremely important to the infrastructure of this city, so yeah, we'll actually use this one and we'll get a new name for that one. So there's two things up for grabs for being renamed so far. Now, in Cypress Heights, how many commercial buildings? We've actually got a couple. And our commercial desire is a little bit higher than our desire for residential, so I'm actually going to get rid of you. I'm going to make this place a new commercial area, and then under districts we're going to do two things. First and foremost, self-sufficient buildings here, and secondly, organic and local produce. There we go. Now this is going to affect our tax, unfortunately, in a fairly negative way, but we'll see how that goes. And there we go. We can get the simulation going again. In fact, this is probably going to take a little while. I can already, see more birds and plants in the city thanks to the use of green energy. Well, I hope you can't see more birds around the wind turbines because that's going to be very messy. I love the new self-sufficient buildings. Marvelous. I'm glad you approve. Right, let's speed up time because this is probably going to be a fairly long drawn out process because they have to demolish the buildings, then rebuild the buildings, then people have to want to move in and so on and so forth. But we've already got a couple going up. Healthy weeds. Fair enough. Okay. Solar panels up there. I approve enormously. We've got soy and lentils. Okay. I thought when I first saw that I was going to say Silent Green. I was like, this is taking a decidedly grim turn. Organic coffee and tea. What does that say? The burned bean. Okay, fair enough. And we've got a place for your stuff. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I wonder what this is then. Is it like a little park or something? Maybe just a place for... Oh, right, it's a little market. Oh, that's wonderful. I like that a lot. Okay, let's have a look at some of these new buildings. In fact, I'll slow things down a little bit so that we're not letting time run away with us here. It's quite a quaint little house there. I'm not too fond of the blocky design of the house itself, but I do like the outdoors areas. They're quite lovely. I love the windows here and the decking. Very, very nice. Yeah, I really do like the outdoors areas, though I feel that the kind of blocky nature is a little bit underwhelming, honestly. I was expecting something a bit nicer. Over here, we've got an even larger outdoors area. Yeah, okay. I'm down with that, though. Not super keen on the design of the houses themselves, but oh well. At least you're doing well with the space you've got. Why isn't the local government doing anything to stop the fires? Does anyone... is there a fire? Is there a fire? Why are you lying? Why do you turn my city into a city of lies? Leighton Hancock. You scallywag. Where are you, Leighton? Can I click on Leighton Hancock? Where is Leighton? The Walnut resident. That is clearly not who this is, though. Nah, I would totally rename you if I could, but you're hiding in your house, scallywag. But that is a good point. We do now need to actually care about the police and, in fact, the fire brigade. So, at this point, there's a few things I'd like to do. In fact, I'm sort of second-guessing where I've got the hospital right now. I am second-guessing that a little bit. And it's a dangerous thing to begin doing, second-guessing things. I think I would prefer this area to be moved a little bit. So, with that in mind, let's start out by moving you. It's going to cost me... How much will it cost me? 2,000. That's actually not too bad. You see, the nice thing about this place that I've realized is this street does allow very, very rapid access to the facilities over there. So there's really no point in me having things built up off this road. I can just keep it nice and free of any kind of intersection. So let's get rid of this. There we go. So that's now a much more rapid road. Next up, we are going to want fire brigade and the police station. I guess we're going to go with the fire brigade first. Now, before we place that, I've kind of got an idea for setting up a district for forestry, because if we look down here, we have got a rather large RCI demand there. I'm gonna let time pass, sure. Actually take it down to level 1. But as this road more or less kind of reaches a dead end over here, I would like to set up some sort of mining along here. We're not going to put the forestry up on the mountain. That'll be silly. But a forestry over here wouldn't be a bad idea in my mind. We don't actually need this there anymore. Yes, I notice you, criminal scum. We will deal with you in a moment. 30 days ISO cubes. But before that, if we build something up here, I'm going to want a bit of a stronger road to carry traffic. That being said, this is an entry point rather than an exit point. So maybe it's not as necessary to have that down here. Problem here, though, is that my industries are having to send trucks up and around. Yes, okay, so there's a couple of things that we're going to change here, actually, that to improve the efficiency of the city. First and foremost, I want you change the other way, and you change that way. This way, trucks can leave the city fairly quickly. They can come into the city slowly. Yeah, I know. We've only slightly improved it, but this will be better for freight trying to leave the city from any sort of lumber yards over here, because we are going to upgrade this road. I mean, ultimately, I suppose, no matter what we do here, my eventual plans for the roads around here will make it kind of moot. Oh, that was completely the wrong type of road. That was a rather expensive mistake, but I'm sure no one noticed. Shh, your mayor is infallible. Right, let's bring this up to about here, and actually, let's make this a little bit of a nicer area as well. Let's put a little bit of a curve, a little bit of a kink into this road, something to make it a little bit more interesting. Something like, how much of a curve do we want? Yeah, sure, something around there, and we can just bring this out. This may end up connecting with another part of the city further along. That will probably be in a good line there. Okay, so this will allow us to connect up a little bit further down the road. Now, over here, got a couple of options to do with this. First, let's check well, actually, we can put the fire station in, because I don't think I'm going to upgrade that road any further, and I can always move the fire station later on if I need to. Though that being said, I dislike the junction there and having the fire station right on the edge of the junction. So I'm going to put the fire station here. I know I'm going to get rid of some industry, and it does suck. There are way too many traffic lights there. Oh my lord. I will sort that out in a moment. I'll show off how you can actually deal with that kind of thing shortly. But that's already massively reduced the fire risk there. Hasn't quite reduced the fire risk over here, so we are going to need a second one. A little ways down here, just to make sure that my people are safe. And unfortunately, we've run out of money. Okay, well, we'll look at the roads for now then, but while crime reigns supreme. Now, I'm quite enamored with the idea of a tunnel So let's have a look at what we can do with tunnels. Can we get a tunnel in there? No, we can't. Now, you can actually change the elevation step. So right now, going up by 12 units. Now I'm going back down by 6 units, going up by 3 units. I'm generally speaking going to be keeping it at 3 units because I think that's a bit better. Now I can easily go up. Can I go down? 1, 2, 3. No, it does not make for a good tunnel. Alright, well how about then we don't do that. We don't go for a tunnel that's going... the one-way system here that's going down. Although I really would like that. Instead, let's see if I can't fit a tunnel over here. We're going to have to pause it here because I am going to disrupt the traffic quite drastically actually. But let's see what we can do. So, from here, let's bring it 5... Let's see what we can do. We'll just bring it to... Sure, we'll bring it out to 5. So 1, 2, 3. You generally want a road to be 9 deep. And that one was 1 square across. So there we go. Draw that over. Not enough money. Ah, drat. Okay, well, we're going to have to take our loan. I was fairly certain we were going to have to anyway. So this will give us 60,000. And with that, we'll be able to pay off a fair bit. Though we are actually massively cutting into our money right now. But it should be fine. Don't worry. We want it out to about there. Or do we? We have this one. No, we want that one to about there to be the same kind of distance underground, and then we can simply bring it up after 5 units. There we go, and so 1, 2, 3. Perfect, and it connects. There we go. So we've got our tunnel there so that the main flow of traffic is unimpeded, and now we can run this road along. We'll actually unpause the game again, and we're going to take this road. Sure, we could take it up to about here. I think would be a good spot, and bring it down the same direction. There we are. We're going to make another roundabout over here. So if, for example, trucks need to be down there, they can just go all the way down and turn off up here. And this will probably be the main way that trucks get into the city, unless it is they really need to like be down here or something, in which case they may turn around and up. But I can actually force the issue with that. I could put a large vehicle ban on this road, for example, and I might well do that actually. We'll have a see. Right, so I quickly want to create a new curve here. So out to there. Up and around. There we are. It's much easier now that I know the exact dimensions that I'm going to be doing it. There we go. And there we are. And we'll have this be an on into the city road, so an entry point just across there. There we are, and eventually we can have an exit point over there as well, perhaps. So yeah, like an entry point somewhere around here. Just to sort things out. Was that the right length? Yeah, actually it was. Marvellous. We'll eventually connect that up to something. There we go. That makes the traffic a little bit easier to get in. I wonder how the trucks are going to make use of this. But with that said, we really do need a police service because I imagine crime is going a bit bizarre. Yeah, there's crime. The criminals are like, haha, the police aren't here. Time to loot everything. Right, now generally you will have a decent amount of crime over here, but I'm fairly certain that residences tend to get a lion's share of it for some reason. So let's go ahead and try to solve their problem first, shall we? Let's be good people, and we'll pop down a... Actually, that road's a little bit small. Let me adjust this. Also, it's one way, because I'm a derp. Let me change that. There we go. And we'll then just... I want it just out a tiny bit more, really. I may have to just delete the whole road to get that to work, though. A bit of a waste of money, I know, but there's not too much I can do about that right now. There we go. Perfect. Right, now I'll put the police station. We'll have a little quaint police station right there. And they can service these buildings and hopefully get rid of some of that crime. Now, we desperately need residences. Industrial. We also really quite badly want some more commercial. So let's get some commercial up there as well. And hopefully they've got power. Does that spread? Yes, it does. Oh, marvelous. I approve. I approve mightily. That should help some people out, and we'll get more people coming in. Because I didn't pause the game, we have got some abandoned buildings. That's a bit of a shame, but I'll just go ahead and delete those now. There are pros and cons to pausing. Yes, it can become a crutch, but when you're commentating, you tend to stop a lot more in order to explain what you're doing. So maybe I'll use it a little bit more in those kinds of situations. We'll see. Right, let's draw this road out, though. I want this place to be... Sure, we'll have that running along right up to that junction there. We'll have this be a lovely little district for forestry. Let's follow this curve if we can. Let's go to freeform. There's a new place for us to expand to. Yeah, I know. And hopefully we can get that more or less right. It's not quite right, but it's close enough, I think. Near is damage. No, it's really not, actually. Okay, well, another way we can approach this problem, then, is we can simply decide how close along here we want it to be. For example, there. And draw it out that far. Yeah, something like that will do. And then we'll pop the curve back in on this side. There we go. It's a nice shallow curve there. It shouldn't cause us any problems. Now, generally, again, with industry, I prefer them to be slightly larger blocks, if you will. Let's go with a straight road, and then I'll adjust it in a moment. There we go. Straight across there. Actually, that isn't too bad. I don't mind that kind of angle there. That doesn't look too bad at all. And, I actually wouldn't mind just having a road just going up there. That creates a bit of a nice shape to it, in my opinion. Okay. Right, remember to have a look at the newly unlocked buildings. It does frustrate me a little bit that you've got so many different buildings that effectively do the same thing. They look different, but it insists on telling me about them every single time. It's like, have you checked out this building? It does exactly the same thing, but it looks different. You should really click on it. Let me know that you've looked at it, please. It's my job to make sure you have. I mean, I guess I can sympathize with the computer at that point. Okay, so we want a different district up here. I want a bit of a lumbering district. So let's go ahead and get ourselves this area all nice and added. We'll follow the road for this one, just because it makes things easier if we do. There we go, all the way across and down. And we've got a fairly nice little district here. Poplar Square. Well, Poplar Square, you are going to be a forestry district. There we go. And just to let the computer know I've seen it. Yeah, I have. You can build disaster warning buildings down here, which probably quite recommended. Let's be perfectly honest there. It's probably extremely necessary. We have our police station, we have everything we need, so we really just need to grow at this point. Now, how are we doing for power? We're not doing wonderfully, I'll be honest with you. Not doing wonderfully. I think I may have to, at this point, as much as it pains me, we're going to go with a coal-fired power plant. And we'll pop it down here. Now, the advantage here is that it's far enough away from the industry, because the industry will care. It's going to cause ground pollution, but it will also produce a lot of noise pollution. So the industry at that distance isn't going to worry too much about it, but we've now got a lot of power to play with. Probably way too much, in fact, so we may want to adjust that shortly. We'll go ahead, fill all of this up. We will also fill this up as well. We'll just let that develop for now. I don't mind about having these ones on this road, because this is more or less an industrial road. So it is there for the purpose of these buildings being built. Right, we need some water. Okay, thank you for reminding me. I almost made you stupid. Right, can we get on there? I'd like it to be 45 if I could. I can scarcely see the numbers though. 49, 46, 45. There we go. Perfect. And we'll just bring it along here and then hook up. That just means we got a little bit in the middle. It would be a bit better for me to do it from this side just to make sure the coverage is absolute. There we go. Right, we just need to let this place build up now. Poplar Square. Oh, this is looking lovely already. I'm not too keen on this though. If we had landscaping, I would smooth that out a little bit so it looked a bit better. But hopefully this goes okay. Healthcare goes universal around the world. More healthcare with smaller costs. Universal care. Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, this place is really developed now. Ooh. Oh. They're slowly growing the gardens on top because it obviously takes time. I see now. I understand why they're all built like this. It suddenly makes so much sense. I approve. Also, I really like the look of that. Oh, it looks great. It's very, very nice. Not quite a beetle, but it'll do. It'll do. The paint is quite nice. I approve of it, but I would approve a little bit more if it was a beetle, because I'm a snob. Right. Okay. Now we desperately want more residential, and that is exactly where we want to be. So let's slow that down and go ahead and build up around here. And once again, let's take this out far enough. We want it by about that much, I would say. Yep. And then down here, we can just use freeze form and then just kind of conform to the curves, basically, if we can. There, and then straight along. It doesn't work quite as well as I'd hoped. Okay, let's bring that in along this side then. Up to there. And we'll just have a curve right there. That should work. About there. There we go. That gives us a little bit of something to play with. But we definitely do want some larger blocks for the residential. So that I got options for placing parks and also pedestrian paths and that sort of thing. So with that in mind, let's just go ahead and build this out. Sure, I'll build it up to there. We'll have this one come all the way up and hopefully meet around here. It's not quite right though, is it? So we'll go with a curve then for this one. Something like that. Actually, no, that really doesn't sit well with me. So let's continue to build this out. We could build it all the way up there. I'd rather not, though, if we can avoid it. It doesn't look like we can. Never mind then. I guess that is going to just be a really funky shaped area. In fact, we could go ahead and make it even more funky shaped by doing that. Yeah, sure, okay. Actually, at this point, what we could do instead, go halfway down this road, put a little bit of a kink in it, halfway down this road, put another kink in there. Oh, this is gonna work out much better. Just a little bit of effort goes an awfully long. Oh, that is completely not worth it. As I was saying, a little bit of effort goes an awfully long way in this game. Still not quite there yet. Okay, I like that a lot better. That's much more gentle curve at the top. That is actually quite nice. That is a little bit harsh though. And I know it's silly that I care about these sorts of details as much as I do, but I do, and what can I say? Right, let's get that down there. We're just going to... Yeah, we're just going to delete this tiny little bit of road there, and this way we can get this part of the road a little bit more gentle in terms of the curve. There we go. I think that looks a lot better. A lot better. Alright, so what we want now are houses. That can just be a 4x4 there. Sure, that will work there. And unfortunately, no houses along here at all. But we can paint all of the ones in here up for residential. That'll look great. In fact, we're getting to the point now where we could possibly even look to expand Cypress Heights. And I think we might want to do that, actually. Let me just get this going down here. Bring that up. In fact, actually, we can pop that in there as well. There we go. That'll actually be quite nice. We'll get a little bit more tax flowing into the city. And you know what? If you make every part not square, then nothing is unique anymore. If everything is unique, then nothing is effectively unique. You need to embrace the diversity that also includes, by its very nature, the regular. Not otherwise it looks like you're trying too damned hard. Yes, I am trying quite hard, but not too damned hard. No. There we are. That's perfect. I am going to need to give you water, though. It's funny the things I forget when I'm waffling on about making things look nice. There we go. I mean, it's not funny for them, of course. They're not happy about it at all, I should imagine. But that'll do quite nicely there. Let's have a look at some of our other things. Okay, water is starting to go down. I'm actually going to increase the budget ever so slightly for water then. Because let's increase it up to 75%. Otherwise, I am going to come a cropper of that one. How about waste disposal? Okay, garbage could suffer being improved slightly. Let's take that up to 90% then. Actually, no, let's take this up to 95%. Because it is quite low at the moment. There we are. Healthcare, how are we doing? We're doing fine. Average health isn't great, but we are doing fairly good with it, I would say. Next up, we can have a look at fire. Fire. Why is there no fire? Is this not a fire station? Yes, it is a firehouse. Why no overlay? Scallywag. I was very concerned. There's like, no, did I not build it? Oh my lord, I'm so sorry, everyone. But no, I did. The game was just lying to me, that's all. Yeah, it's okay. And police, finally. Crime rate is actually a bit higher than I'd like, honestly. And we're currently detaining 13 criminals. That's actually very, very dissatisfying. I'd hoped that would be a lot better. We are going to need a fire station over here, though, in time. But for the moment, I think things are generally going okay. We just need to let a little bit of time flow through, get more citizens in here, and also build up more and more industry. As we can see, the industry is going, but we're having a little bit of trouble getting workers, it seems. There's a bit of a problem, but hopefully that can be improved as more people move in. Maybe we could do with... Yeah, on this side then, we're going to pop down some more commercial. We're going to actually have a fair wallop of commercial along here. There we go. That should help out a little bit as well, because we have quite a high demand for commercial right now. Maybe some more regular industry as well. We'll have to have a look into that one though, as we get time. Actually, no, we'll continue to expand out our forestry, I think. Oh, there we go. Tiny town. Marvelous. And we've got landscaping. Hooray! Right, and we've also got event policies. We can now build parks and plazas, which are wonderful for increasing the land value and the happiness of citizens. Level 2 unique buildings. Football. We can now build a football stadium to allow your city to have its very own football team. The team plays matches on the stadium, and if they are victorious, the city, meaning you, gets a considerable prize sum. Wow, okay. And from what I understand, you actually have quite a lot of management roles with football. You can name the team, give them their team colours. It's actually quite awesome. Concerts attract tourists and infuse your city with musical vibes by building a festival arena. Organising successful musical events and festivals allows the festival arena to be upgraded to have even larger, memorable events. I don't think we're going to be touching on those just yet. We've got pet ban smoking, well, as if. Parks and recreation, schools out, subsidized youth? What the dickens? By spending money on training young players, the team has increased odds to win. Ah, right, okay. Applies to all stadiums, costs 9,000 per week, multiplied by the number of stadiums in the city. Ye get. The citizens will prefer working over education, and only a small portion of the eligible citizens will go on to study in university. I'd probably not do that one myself. Come one, come all. To make it easier for fans to get to the stadium, public transport is free on match days. Increased amount of visitors raises the odds of winning matches. Match security, hire security staff to patrol around the stadium, keeping crime low. Cost 500 per week per stadium. Ad campaign, advertise the festivals. This will be concerts then, to attract more visitors to the concerts. And active ad campaign increases the popularity of the bands by 1 per month And Premium Studio. Premium Studio allows the bands to participate and practice and record albums with high quality equipment and acoustics. A Premium Studio will increase the chance of a successful concert. So it looks like you actually get quite a lot of managerial roles with those DLCs. Also, we can build canals, which is quite amazing. We can have bicycle paths, pavement paths, gravel paths, all of these. Key flood wall, which may actually be quite necessary. Loads of new park buildings, which is marvelous. We've also got a freshwater outlet. The freshwater outlet lets out excess water in the system. It can be placed on dry land, creating lakes and ponds. Water evaporates and the outlet can be turned on or off to help with possible flooding. If the city produces less water or the same amount it consumes, the freshwater outlet won't let out any water. Oh, that's quite interesting. You'll be able to create little lakes all of your own. Sports Hall and Gymnasium offers citizens more exercise opportunities, giving a small health benefit to the neighborhood. Institute... no, these are buildings, not policies. Institute of Creative Art, a prestigious school specializing in creative art, educates teens an alternative to the high school. Ooh, that's actually pretty cool. The Biodome. A variety of endangered plants, insects, and birds find refuge in these climate-controlled structures. Visitors get to explore a completely different ecosystem without having to travel around the world. Animal species that might otherwise go extinct can live safely and peacefully while receiving the care they need to survive. That's actually wonderful. And a vertical farm. Vertical farming is the ultimate solution to agriculture in any urbanized world. This structure has vertical stacked floors, allowing a large number of crops to be grown in a relatively small area. Many floors are enclosed similarly to greenhouses, while others are open to outside weather conditions. And finally, the high school. So we now actually need to care about the high school, which is a bit of a pain, really, because we do not have the money for one. But that was actually pretty cool. We do need more industry, so let's do that before I forget, because I am apt to if I don't do it immediately. Sure, let's get a little bit more going on here. And actually, before we do anything else, let's actually check out some of the junctions, because I'm fairly certain some of these are bloody awful. Right, we can now do all sorts of things. We can adjust roads, we can see routes. If I want to check a road, for example, and see the routes that it's using, let's do that. Boom. We can see all the traffic going on. So we've got private vehicles coming into the city, because it's night time. They're probably going back to their homes. We've got pedestrians walking around using this stretch of road. Do we have anything else? No, not really. What about this road? Right, we've got trucks. Wow, the trucks use this an awful lot. Okay, well, that's to be noted. Then I'm probably going to have to stop that so the trucks actually do go up and around. City service vehicles do also use it as well. Okay, well, that's quite useful. But now for junctions. There are way too many traffic lights. This is causing a massive holdup around here, I would say. So we want to try and change some of these so they're a bit more streamlined. For example, I would like to give priority to anything that's coming off this roundabout. So I'm going to give stop signs to all other sides. This is going to have full priority to get off the roundabout. Down here, though, I want priority to any vehicles moving up or down this road, basically. And that will be true all the way down here. So they can just turn off there whenever they particularly want to. That will be fine. We'll also put, well, actually I won't put a stop sign here. In fact, I'm going to give priority to vehicles that are moving off this road, just at that particular location. Otherwise, it's going to cause me a little bit of trouble. I'm going to tell vehicles that this road has priority moving through. There we go. So that actually looks fairly good to me. I don't need to worry about the priority here because you can just turn off wherever you want. Yeah, okay, I think that will make traffic flow a little tiny bit better. Certainly, you shouldn't always have turn off traffic lights. They are quite useful in certain ways. For example, this crossroad might actually benefit from it. Yeah, actually, I am going to toggle traffic lights on right there. And you can have a couple of places around here. But generally speaking, unless you see a problem, you don't need to worry about it too much. These roads are getting used a lot. But for now, things seem to be on the up and up, and generally I'm fairly happy with it. We've got a lot of citizens, and it is time, though, for us to think about a high school. So let's have a look. We've got elementary school, we've got high schools, and we have not enough money to build the Institute of Creative Arts. Okay. Well, again, this will use less water and less electricity, by actually a large amount on the electricity, but it will have a smaller capacity and will cost an awful lot more money. But I think we're up to the challenge of getting that one. What's its upkeep? Upkeep is actually quite a lot, to be perfectly honest. But we should be okay. Our vacation was extended. Could someone water the plants while we're gone? The keys are in the flower pot. Very well. I'll see what I can do. Right, I'm a mayor of the people, you understand. Right, okay, so for the high school, we can pop that one down somewhere around here, I think. And we can actually even have make the inside of this area look a little bit nicer that way. So sure, we can pop that down. Oh, actually, could we fit it? Oh, we can fit it in there. How marvelous is that? I think that's actually brilliant. Okay, sure. There we go. High school down. All of my funds. Goodbye. I enjoyed knowing you. I enjoyed making your acquaintance. Brief though it was. I am broke. But with that, I think we're going to be wrapping up this episode. We've actually done quite a lot. We've even started to set up a couple of districts. And on that note, as soon as that high school actually starts doing anything, we're going to lose a lot of money. That being said, we have actually dropped a couple of things. Elementary school capacity is a little rough. Let me adjust the education budget then. Let's increase it slightly to 95%. There we go. That should help out a bit, hopefully. There we go. That is massively overproducing, but it's okay so far. Actually, our taxes are not badly hit. Okay. Well, given that then, I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be bold, and we are going to, the last thing we do, expand out Cypress Heights, ready for its eventual rename. So how large do we want to make this? We want to bring it down. We don't want to use that brush, whatever we're doing. Let's bring this all the way down. Yeah, we're going to grab this whole area on this side. There we go. All the way up and across as well. Right up to this road we'll go. There we go. And if you want to be a little bit more precise than I've been here, you can always use the smallest brush. Just to paint in only the parts you actually want to be considered part of the district. There we are. So that is going to hit our taxes, because people are going to move out as new buildings are built, but it will generally be for the betterment of everyone, I think. Look at that in school. I really like it. You can really see it coming into its own now in the daytime rather than the nighttime. And we've got so much going on. I really enjoy it. We're probably going to want to look towards mass transit in the near future. All these trees coming up as well. This is really coming together now. I actually really am pleased with it. But that's going to be it from me. I do hope you enjoyed the episode, though, and will be joining me for the next. And as ever, until next we meet, do take care of yourselves.